On today's show, we'll be answering a bunch of viewer questions, which is going to start in this show and then roll into a series of other videos that you'll be watching afterwards. We'll see you in just a moment. Good morning and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live daily photo show on YouTube every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. It's fun to be here live. You should try to be here live. It's a blast because then you get to participate in the comments and the questions, and you get to do this where you type at PhotoJoseph. If you're watching live, type at PhotoJoseph if you want to get my attention. Or if you really want to get my attention, see somewhere down here there's like a dollar sign thing. It's like way at the bottom down there in the corner. If you click that, that's called a super chat, and that really gets my attention. But today's show is all about questions that have come in from viewers over the last probably month, because I haven't done this in a while. I've got a few really good juicy ones set aside here. Today's show, for those watching live, will have the kind of interim things because we're going to break it up into pieces. For those who are not watching live, we will be answering a couple of the easier questions in the beginning, and then the tougher, longer, more detailed questions will get broken out into separate videos. But it'll be really easy to follow because at the end of this video that you're watching right now, if you're not watching live, you will see a link to the next video. Excellent. All right, let's just get this started. It's a good day. I'm feeling good. We have some fresh air outside. It's been beautiful. Air quality index is down into the good, decent, moderate, not going to kill you range, which is always a good sign. And we got some questions to answer. Hello, everybody in the chat room. Good to see you here. If you have questions that are relevant to the question that I'm asking, by all means, ask them. If you have questions that are totally unrelated, try and hold on to those, and we'll try to address those at the very end. We're not going to do a separate total breakout thing, but we'll try to get to it. We've got a lot of questions today. Let's get started, shall we? Here we go. The first question comes from O Show Productions. It says, "Hi, Joseph. I got a steal on a used Olympus, and I'm trying to use the Olympus Zuiko Lens, the 70-300, with my GH5 for video only. I bought a 4/3 to micro 4/3 adapter with autofocus. I don't need or want autofocus, but when I attach the lens, the focus ring grinds as if the autofocus is on. I turn it off on the lens. I don't know how to turn it off so I can focus smooth. The ring is smooth when it's detached from the camera. I've been looking all over the internet and decided to finally ask you, the expert." That's debatable. "Please help. Thank you so much for your help." Okay, I don't have that lens, so I can't give you an answer that I promise is going to work, but it's hopefully is a really, really simple thing. You said on here that you turned off autofocus on the lens. You didn't say if you turned it off on the body. And remember, you do have that autofocus control on the body. Where's my, get this thing lined up. There we go. You do have this switch here. If that is in auto, it may very well be trying to drive the focus. But if you put this into manual, then the camera should not be trying to drive autofocus on the lens regardless, whether the lens is switched to manual or auto or not. If you have a Lumix lens on here, right, like I've got the, here, so my 8-18 on here, this lens has its own dedicated autofocus, manual focus, trying to get off the glare, there we go, autofocus, manual focus switch. If I turn this, I can toggle autofocus on and off here, and I don't have to use it on the back of the camera, but that's with a Lumix lens. You're talking about an Olympus lens, so all the communication probably isn't there. So that's my guess. I hope that's the right answer. That's the only answer that I've got for you, though. So please respond in the comments, either on this video or on your original comment, and let me know if that is the problem. And if not, I can try and get to the bottom of it. But again, without a copy of that lens, it's going to be pretty tough for me to resolve. Okay, the next one is another easy one. This is two people asked the same question here. Janusz Ciechowski and Karl both are basically asking the same question. How do I shoot on the GH5 with an all-manual lens, or a lens that doesn't have any communication between the lens and the body? So if you look at any Lumix, I want to say any, most Lumix cameras, maybe any, probably most Lumix cameras, interchangeable lens Lumix cameras, other than the GH series, you'll find a menu option there that says shoot without lens. And by default, that is disabled. So that means if you take your camera out of the box, brand new, you don't put a lens on it, you try and take a picture, the camera's not going to shoot. You put a lens on and it shoots. Because the camera is saying, hey dummy, you don't have a lens on here, why are you trying to take a picture? But as both of our viewers here have asked, they're using all manual lenses. And I have one of these, I don't have it sitting here, but I have that Zuiko whatever. I have that all mechanical lens that I love, which has 0 electronic contact, so the camera has no idea that the lens is there, what it is, and so on. So you need to enable that. That's great. However, on the GH5, there is no option because that's just on all the time. The GH5 is built as a professional photographer slash filmmaker's camera, the expectation is that you're probably going to put lenses on there that the camera can't communicate with. So the option isn't even there. And I tested this. I did a full reset on the camera, and I tested this. And as it comes out of the box, if you will, it'll take pictures without a lens on it. Now, what you'll see, I don't know if I can do this. Let me see here. I'm just going to show it this way because then we won't have to do the off-camera zoomy weird thing. Let me just zoom into this. Okay, I am going to switch this up to this view. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'm going to take the lens off, which is the same thing as having, so there's no lens on here now, right? Nope, just trust me. There's no lens. There we go. And when I turn the camera on right now, it is going to ask, well, it disabled. Why did that go away so quickly? Let's try that again. It's going to ask if the focal length that is currently set is okay. It might be because the HDMI is on. Let me get rid of that cable. There we go. If the current focal length, there we go, current focal length is set to 25 millimeters. Do you want to change that setting? It's saying, this basically is telling you that it does not know what lens is on there, or if there's a lens on there, but it's the same thing to the camera. It doesn't know what is there. And so it's asking you what the focal length is. Now, the only reason the focal length matters, as far as my understanding is for stabilization, because how the sensor moves to stabilize the shot varies depending on the focal length of the lens. So it's important to have this right. So if you have a 25 millimeter lens, and that means a lens that actually says 25 millimeter, you don't have to do full frame conversion. If what it says on the box is 25 millimeter, that's what you put on here. And you can change the setting. Now, you don't actually have to hit no or yes. You can just hit the shutter button and it will exit out of here if 25 is fine. But if the answer is no, let's tap on, excellent, genius, trying to do this upside down. Let's try this one more time. If the answer is no, change the setting. So the answer is yes, I want to change the setting. There we go. Then you get this up here. So you've got this choice here of 3 defaults, 24, 35, and 50 millimeter, or, really trying hard to navigate this thing with, there we go. Or you can go in here and start changing the numbers and dial in whatever number you want. And you can see you can go from 0.1 millimeter up to 1,000 millimeter. That is a much more precise and I think larger range than was on the GH4 if memory serves. But anyway, that's what that setting is. But there is no option to enable or disable shoot without lens. And this is what took me so long this morning because there's got to be, right? And I dug through, I'm looking through the manual, went through every menu on the camera, and that finally was the conclusion that I came to, and that's when I said, I'm going to do a full reset, factory reset, as it is out of the box, and it does take pictures without a lens on it, therefore the setting is just on all the time, okay? So that, and Janusz is in the chat. Well, excellent, Janusz, I'm glad to see you're here. Janusz is asking me, let's see here, could you please tell me if there is a new update finally option to select in menu show without lens? Well, that's what we're answering right now. So there you go. If you are saying error if I use a manual lens adapted with adapter without chip, and sometimes I'd like to shoot without lens not being really attached to the body. Right. Yeah, Janusz, that's the question that we just answered. So hopefully that just answered it for you. If you're unable to shoot for some reason, like if you have your lens on and it's not shooting, then there's something else blocking the shooting. But that's what I've just tested it out. That's my conclusion on that. If that still isn't the right answer for you, add something into the comments here, and we'll try and sort that out. Janusz saying thank you for the answer. Excellent. Alrighty. So let's see if there's any of these questions here that are related to this question. You guys are asking me stuff about the version 2 firmware update. I don't have it, guys. I can't tell you anything. So just sorry. Brent responded to an earlier thing. Brent says the aftermarket AC adapter didn't work in my GH5. The battery slave wouldn't lock in. Well, there's a ton of aftermarket ones, so I'd say try a different one. And go by ratings. If you're buying on Amazon, look at the ratings. There are 2 on Amazon right now that showed up at the top of the list. One had a 5-star rating, one had a 4.5-star rating. With the one with 5 stars had, I think, twice as many reviews. It's not in stock right now, but it'll be in stock in a few days, and I don't need it right away, so I ordered those because I may as well get the better ones. And it was the same price, or like within $1. So. Okay, and Charbex is asking about processing power required for the GH5. No idea how to answer that. Okay, his question is, what's the difference in terms of processing power required for the GH5 to encode 420 HDR versus 10-bit 422? I think the HDR is going to be 422, though. I don't think that's... Oh, wait, no, it's 420 10-bit is the HDR. It's not HDR, it's hybrid log gamma HLG. I'm somehow hoping that the GH5 will be able to do 4K 60p HDR. I don't remember without going back to the chart, but whatever, if you go to PhotoJoseph.com and just a couple entries down, you're going to see the press release for the version 2 firmware update. All of the new frame rates and combinations and everything else are there. It's in a big chart. Look on there. If it's not there, it's not there. That's the chart that came from Panasonic. So if it isn't on there, it ain't shooting it. Okay. All right, next up, we're going to go into the breakouts because the next few questions are bigger and I think warrant their own video. So if you are watching this live, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. If you're not watching this live, then in just a moment, you're going to see a link pop up on the screen that will take you to the next question. If you don't care about that question, you can just skip to the next one, and so on and so on. We'll also list all of the questions in the comments down below here with links to those videos, Ryan. Don't forget to do that. Okay, that's it. We'll see you back here in just a moment.